positive correlation. The p-value for that is 0.8 or 0.08. And that's way too high, and we have a lot of data points. So, and you kind of can see from the shape of the data that you can have high accuracies and low accuracies, but they are actually the same amount of compression. But when you have your softmax there, so the layer, the very last layer that from which the softmax passes the labels, it's very important to have compression there because there was a clear dependency there. And the p-value for that was 0.01, so it's a very strong result that we found, that you actually want to have your compression, but only in the very last layer. And that's kind of about it. So we had some, this wasn't the best work because we could have been more rigorous about deriving these estimates, even though the estimators themselves were not novel, and their convergence has been already shown in the papers that created them. The adaptive approach was more derived by intuition rather than rigor, and we did use small activation functions, but small networks. But we were able to see all this behavior that was not seen previously. And actually, I think the results of this paper have aged well, because this is actually a paper from iClear this year, so it's still anonymous, and we'll see the reviews next week, so that will be fun for people to read. And they showed the same thing. They developed estimators that are using the kernel trick that they scale to many dimensions. And it's a very strong paper, and I'm really cheering for it. And their results are basically kind of the same, but there is compression happening in ReLUs if you measure it in a sensitive way. And there's also this paper that also showed that there is compression happening in ReLU networks like this. So yeah, ReLU, they used a different estimator than we did. I think they used another KT estimator. And there are another two papers. This one was from NIPS. It came out 3 months after I submitted my paper. And what they did is that they actually added noise to the network and trained it, and they derived a rigorous estimator for a noisy neural network. And what their conclusion is that so yeah, compression can happen in learning, but with the ReLU activation functions, but its connection to generalization is still quite elusive. So actually, we can see this compression. And there's another very good paper that also did a very strong estimator for noisy neural networks. This one was from MIT, I think. And once again, they are actually very strongly negative about the approach that we used previously, where we had deterministic training, and they just basically say that what was seen previously is mostly just an estimator of clustering, but it's not actual mutual information. And there's a lot of debate about that, and there are loads of papers coming out every conference. Well, not loads of papers. There's always a few papers about this topic on every conference. So the debate is still ongoing, and I think, from my point of view, it's interesting. It would be interesting to see if you have the same initialization and the same slicing of the data, whether you train it with noise or without noise, how different would the mutual information values look? I think it would be interesting to compare those, because maybe it's actually kind of the same thing, and one just really well approximates the other, or maybe they are completely different. So that's, I guess, a big piece of the puzzle that is missing. Any questions?
When you say this, I mean, does it take very long time to do these kind of process, I mean, that you are mentioning?
Yeah, so estimating information takes much longer than training of the neural network. I think the estimator that I've just showed that was up for review at iClear now, this one, where they do the kernel trick, that
Yeah.
might really speed things up. But when we did this binning and slicing, all of that took a while. So training the network took about 5 minutes, binning took about 10 minutes, and then the kernel density estimation took about an hour
Right.
on a laptop. So, but then I started using the supercomputer, and that was good.
So this paper used CNN, right? This paper used CNN, convolution networks.
This one, yes. So they've scaled it up, and they actually show this plot here for, I think this is VGG. Yeah, VGG. So this is a very good read for afterwards. What is that? Thank you very much.
Yeah.